Well, let's get to some breaking news coming out of Daly City. Sky 7 overhead now. This is at Thornton State Beach, where rescuers are working to help someone who somehow got stuck on the side of a cliff, hundreds of feet down that cliff. Now, it is not clear what happened exactly, but we did see someone rappel down and reach that victim just about 10 minutes ago. Sky 7 zooming out, giving you a different vantage point here. Now, the rescuer appeared to put some safety gear around that person, then attach it to a rope. It does appear they will be going up the cliffside to safety any moment now. And as we zoom in, you can really see the terrain, which is incredibly steep, step by step, that person just being guided. We are being told that, what is that, producer Mike?
Chopper on the beach, I think.
Oh, we have a chopper on the beach right now. Once again, if you are joining us, this is coming out of Daly City, where you can see that Sky 7 is overhead. There it is, that chopper, that rescue vehicle on the beach, where we understand that one person is being hoisted up from what appears to be a rope on the side there. And Dan, you can imagine it being the weather it is, people out and about today enjoying the sunshine.
Sure. It was a great day to be out, and this is again at Thornton State Beach. And this, happens periodically. There you see the rescuer. They put a helmet on the person that they are then walking very deliberately up the cliffside to safety. So the good news is we expect this to have a great outcome. This person is in great, capable hands at this point, but you can imagine how unnerving and frightening this was, and how probably quickly it turned into a crisis for that person out at Thornton State Beach today.
Yeah, absolutely. And to see the fact that their chopper was able to land on that open stretch of sand and really reach that individual safely. Look at this, Dan. I mean, the terrain is just so incredibly steep. You can imagine what that individual happened to be doing and the slide down. We can only hope that this individual's injuries are not too major, but the good news is we see up there rescue personnel also just waiting for that slow ascend up that side of the cliff.
Yeah, and it would probably a safe bet that the person is okay, because they're not having to use a rescue basket or anything of that nature. That person is walking up the hill with assistance on their own power, which is certainly a good sign. But as you can see, this is no joke. This is a very rugged piece of terrain, very steep piece of terrain. It could very easily turn into a deadly fall. We're here, as you see here on the screen, 393 feet. So it is really treacherous, and obviously one false move could be disastrous for anyone who takes a tumble.
Quite a tumble. And you can see up top there, if anyone is familiar with this area, you can see that grassy portion of the screen up at the top. That is where the rescuers are. This is a residential area. This is also a public area where there is a park. And on a day like this, ahead of Easter Sunday, ahead of the weekend, people out and about. So as you can imagine, many people just wanting to enjoy the outdoors, and all it takes really is just one slip, one misstep for something to happen. Now, as we zoom in, you can see there that rescuer just behind that person, undoubtedly encouraging him or her to take one step after another, those safety precautions being taken.
And it's exhausting, and you can tell this person is pretty tired, then trying to get back up this hill, but they're getting a great assist from the rescue personnel. But there's a long way to go. 393-foot cliff. It's steep, it's rugged, and that person is clearly struggling a little bit from an energy standpoint, because it's exhausting to try to go back up there.
Yeah, it really is, because you have to imagine the upper body strength to be able to hoist yourself. And on terrain like this, which is sandy, which is rocky, you really could lose your footing at any moment. So perhaps that may have been what happened to begin with. But you see from now this side, step by step, grip after grip, this happening in Daly City with the chopper below. You can see there a little bit of a struggle now.
What's interesting is why go up? Why not go down to the beach below? We'll have to ask that question, but it seems like it would be a shorter distance to get that person to safety rather than go back up.
Yeah, and look at this, the precision, because it almost looks like that individual is going up a very sandy dirt
Yeah, you can
lined
see the
path.
sand under their feet giving way there, can't you, Dion?
Yeah, you really can. And you can see that rescuer has that red bag attached to the side. Oftentimes that is full of chalk or other substances to help with the grip. But I mean, at this point, look at that rescuer, CHP rescuer, in full gear, gloved as well. So that individual not having any gloves, can you imagine the strength and just how raw your palms must be at this point?
Well, this has been going on for quite some time. Again, this is Thornton State Beach, where not long ago, someone obviously got in a real predicament, and they were able to rappel down to reach this person. Rescuer put on some safety gear around that person, the jacket it looks like, and also, of course, a helmet, very important. And now they are slowly working their way back up the cliffside to safety.
Yeah, and we should also point out that we do know that it was a third party that called this in. Whether or not that third party was just walking and happened to see this person, but really fortunate turn of events in that emergency personnel were able to get to the scene this quickly. I mean, it's just remarkable to ski from Sky 7 more than 300 feet down that side of the cliff in really rocky conditions.
Yeah, really right. Oh, they took a little tumble backwards, but again, they're going to be fine. They're harnessed in, and this person is, I'm sure, exhausted. The good news is it looks like, hard to tell from this angle, but it looks like once they get to the green area, just a few feet from where they are now, it shallows out a bit. It's not quite as steep, it looks like to me, so it might not be quite as difficult the rest of the way. Hard to tell from this angle, but this looks like the steepest part. But there's still quite a long way to go, as you can tell.
That's right. And Dan, over the past few years, and truly anyone who lives in the Bay Area, this is not necessarily uncommon because every once in a while we do hear of people or perhaps pets taking accidental tumbles down the cliff.
And often people going down to get pets, get in trouble.
Indeed.
You know, pets have gone down. We've seen that countless times over the years here. And as you pointed out, ahead of this holiday weekend, Dion, and some nice weather, spring weather, before the next little round of rain, this is the time of year where we tend to see these things happening because people are getting out and about and going for hikes for the first time perhaps in several months after the rainy season. And this is the time of year where we do see this a handful of times each year.
Yeah, and I have to say, when you think about the weather we had yesterday and the rainy conditions, we had a 1 on the storm impact scale impacting much of the Bay Area. This cliff of the side of the cliff could have been slippery. So in some ways, you would think that it being dried out today helps the rescue effort.
Yeah, probably so. But also you could tell that the ground is a little unstable there. You know,
look at
it keeps
that.
giving way as you look at the ground. You look at the sand giving way as they work their way up.
And look, the person who is being rescued at some points is almost lying flat, almost vertical, or horizontal. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can tell they're exhausted. They're tired, of course.
Yeah.
But this rescuer doing a great job, obviously. Coaching and coaxing that person up the hill, reassuring them that they're not going to fall. They're fine. Just one step at a time. We'll get back up on top of the hill. You'll be okay. So presumably this person it doesn't have anything to worry about at this point, and hopefully feels that way too, and realizes they'll be safe, they'll be fine. It's just we've got some work to do to get to the top here.
Yeah, and to remind everyone, if you are just joining us in progress, this happened. We heard about the call come in a little bit before 6 o'clock, where Sky 7 was heading to this area of Thornton Cliff in Daly City, and really it has been so fascinating to watch the ascend up to the top, where there are rescuers from CHP just awaiting to treat that individual who presumably tumbled down the side of the cliff there.
Yeah, and as you look here, as we discussed, still an awfully long way to go before they get to the top. It looks a little less steep, and with the vegetation now instead of the sand, the footing will be better, of course. So with any luck, they can make a little more progress and slip a little less, and maybe it's a little bit less exhausting. You just know from walking on the beach, if it's really, really sandy, and how much harder it is to walk on a super soft sandy beach. Well, imagine climbing a hill like this with the sand giving way underneath you. It's really exhausting and hard to keep your balance. So with any luck, some of this vegetation will help make it a bit more stable.
Yeah, and you have to really give some kudos, I guess you could say, to that particular individual from CHP, because look at this work. They train tirelessly. They are wearing full gear. Oh, there we go. Making some strides, making some headway. Each and every step. Oh, it looks like that person now is getting perhaps a second wind, making some good progress.
Yeah, I think the vegetation is helping give them more secure footing.
Yeah, it does look like that. We are getting some new information right now from a few of our producers in the newsroom to underscore how scary this is. We saw a person stranded around 5:50. The ground was moving under their feet. Did not want to go live. This is the perspective of the people in our newsroom watching this unfold minute by minute.
And again, this is the state park. This is Thornton State Beach, really not far in Daly City from the Olympic Club, if you know the area, which of course gives you those great ocean views. So that's the area that we're talking about. And this has been going on probably good half hour, 45 minutes now.
Yeah, and different agencies on the scene, the fire department, CHP. We do have some calls into police as well, just to get an idea of exactly what happened. But yeah, you can see from this point, 221 feet. So, Dan, look at that. They've made so much progress in just a few minutes.
Yeah. It's hard to say exactly how much more we have to go before they get to the top. But probably 10 or 15 minutes, maybe, if you have to guess. They're making good progress. And I think, look at the footing is a little better. The sand isn't giving way under their feet as much. Now we're really making some progress. Yeah. It's a little less steep than it was on the cliffside where all that sand was.
Nice to see.
Yeah, nice to see. This is going to obviously have a happy ending, and the person clearly is fine. They would not, if the person was injured, they would not be asking to climb up the hill like this under their own power. But you know that this person was A, scared, B, now completely exhausted.
Yeah, and to see all of these factors in these people's favor. I mean, the fact that it is a clear day, the fact that it is a dry day, that there's also daylight at this time of year, allowing for better visibility. I mean, look at, as Sky 7 zooms out, just a tremendous task at hand, but really that tremendous progress seen unfolding minute by minute.
Well, it's been about half an hour, and once they got down to this person, and were put on a harness, and it looks like a jacket they brought, and to protect them a little bit, and that helmet, the ascent started to the top of the cliff, and we're now making much better progress than before, because I think the terrain is a little bit more friendly for this. Oh, we're sprinting to the finish here. So it's good news. This person is fine, and you can just imagine what that rescuer is telling the person that they are trying to save. You're fine, relax, you won't fall, one foot in front of the other.
Words of encouragement.
Yeah, you'll be okay. And now you see, it doesn't, really now we have not maybe 100 feet or something, just taking a guess, but now we're getting very, very close.
Yeah, I'm almost waiting with bated breath for that moment as soon as that person... Oh, and it looks like there's an update, 117 feet now. We are going to take a short break, but we'll continue following this situation. Hopefully there will be a positive outcome at the top of that cliff. Stay with us. We'll be right back after a short break.
Families yet.
Northern California's